Welcome to Packages in Rev.io. So we've already talked about a la carte products in the product catalog. We've talked about product groups to avoid forgetting to put items on that belong together or saving you keystrokes just by pulling in products that are related, but still all displaying as a la carte on the bill. You may have situations where you sell packages or bundles, and sometimes you want those to appear as if they are one product, or you just want to display that package name. But the package is behind the scenes made up of a multitude of different products that could all have different tax implications, and they need to tax correctly. So you can't just put one tax code on the package and have it taxed correctly. So in that case, you'd use packages in Rev.io. So to get to packages, you go to Settings and then Packages. I've got one already set up, and I'm going to show you this one first. So this is the description that your team will see when they're adding the packages to the service. There is also an option down here called Description to Print on Bill. If you want that to show something different, you can populate that here. You do need to populate something in there, so even if it's a copy and paste situation, that's fine. But this is what's going to print on the bill. You can put a long description in here if you want to give your team a little bit more information. This is not customer facing. You'd select the provider. If you want to restrict it to a certain service type, you can do that. If you choose a specific service type, then this package would only be available if you happen to select that particular service type. If you leave it blank, it's available on any service type. If you use a lot of packages and you need to break them into categories, you can set up a package category by navigating to the Settings and drop-down Editor. There is a field there called Package Category, and that's a free-form field. You can set up those options for the drop-down list however you need to see those if you want to set those up. And then every package in Rev.io must have a usage plan group tied to it. You could be selling packages that don't have anything to do with voice. This is still a requirement, and the way to get around that is to just go in and create in your usage plan groups. Just go in and set up a usage plan group that doesn't have any usage in it. You can call it no usage, and you can use that in any of your packages that are not voice packages. The other alternative is to just pick a package here. If no voice is going to route to that service anyway, it's never going to come into play, but you do have to have a usage plan group in a package, so you can do that. If you want to restrict this package to certain states, restrict it by bill profiles, by business or residential, any of those kind of things, you can do that. You can exempt the package from spiff commission. You can restrict it by zip codes, all kinds of things here. You can also add agents to this package so that the agents, when they're in the agent portal, they can see and therefore sell this package if you're allowing them to put in requests. You could just add the agent and it starts building out a list of the agents that can sell this package. If you leave this off, then anybody can sell this. And again, if you're not allowing your agents to use requests for service in the agent portal, then it doesn't come into play anyway. You can just leave that blank. And then here's the main page. This is where you add the products that go into this package. So you can see this one was set up. It's called Integrated PRI. It's got a T1 voice, a T1 data, and it has a regulatory fee. So I've got my rates here. You can override them. When you pull these products in, you just click Add Product, and we're going to create one and I'll show you. But you can override the price. You can override the quantity here within the package. Now, one other thing I'm going to note here, when you put a package onto a service in Rev.io, you can only put one package per service line, and you can't change the quantity on the package. In order to affect quantities, you have to do it within the package. So in this case, it's got one regulatory fee, 2 T1 data, and 10 T1 voice lines. So this is how you can affect quantities. You'd probably want to note that in the description so that you know how many underlying quantities are in this package. but you can't change the quantity on the package itself. The next column is group, and when we talked earlier about how you might want this to show as one item on the bill instead of listing out all the individual items, if you select group on this, it's going to roll those products up and it's just going to show that description to print on bill. It's just going to show that description and the total of all the grouped products. Now, the way this one was set up, we unchecked group on this. So these two items are going to roll up and show as the package name that we set up. But this item will show up as an a la carte product because we didn't group it under the package. You can do that. You can have some products within the group roll up and look as if they're one product, and you can also leave some out. You can mix and match. Itemize just means that under the grouped items it would indent and show the names of the items. No pricing would be tied to that. The pricing would all still be the total bundled up of the grouped products. Tax included, you can skip. Most people won't ever need to use that. In Rev.io, we typically tax on top of the product price, which is the way most people do it. Sometimes you might have a product that is including tax, and if that's the case, if you click tax included, it would back into that rate, and then the customer wouldn't see any tax at all. It would calculate the tax on the back end so that you would see it and it would flow through taxing. But to the customer, it's going to look like there's no tax and the product price would be reduced by whatever the total of the tax is. Again, most people would never use tax included unless they have specific products that are including tax. So just ignore that in most cases. You can track the cost on these products if you choose. You can add products and make them a credit instead of a debit. If it needs to include a credit amount of any kind, you can add that. If you're using buy rates for commissioning, that's where you would populate buy rates. You really won't need any of the rest of this data over here. And if you scroll all the way over, if you make a mistake, this kind of hangs off the edge over here. But if you needed to remove a product, you could just click the red X and it would take it out. The type does also let you know whether that product can be included on all orders or whether it's only if it's a new order or a conversion order. So if you have some products that only apply if it's new or only apply if it's a conversion order, you can filter that here. I'm just going to leave mine as all, and anytime I create an order, I want these products on it. I'm going to cancel out of this, and then we're going to go and create a new package so that I can show you. So I'm going to show you the difference when we create a bill. I have a bill created. I'm going to show you what those different group and itemize functions look like when they display on the bill. So I'm going to call this Voice Essential Group Only. And I'm just going to add these products and just select group on them. So in this one, I'm going to call this Voice Essential. I'm going to add that group only so that we can see it on the bill. And we'll just make this in-house. I have to pick a usage plan group. I'm not going to add any restrictions here. I'll just go straight to the products, and then you just click add a product. And we're going to do a one-time setup fee. And we're going to do call waiting, caller ID, a handset rental, a regulatory fee, and we'll do the Voice Essential and the voicemail. We're also going to add that 500 free minutes. And then I'm going to come over here and click add. So here's my package, and then I'd go in here and configure by rates. So if my setup fee is going to be $40 one time, call waiting is $5, caller ID is $5, the handset rental is $15, the regulatory fee, we'll make that the same, $14.95. The Voice Essential seat license is $13.95. The voicemail is $5. And then the 500 included minutes is rolled up into this Voice Essential seat license. So I'm not going to charge separately for that, but this is how you tell the system that the customer gets the first 500 minutes free. So notice I'm going to put this as group on all of these. I'm not going to worry about any of the other fields. We're going to just leave this as a quantity of one. It's one individual user, and I'm just going to check group only on these. I'm going to save that. So now I have that package created. The other thing you can do is you can copy a package. So I'm just going to hit copy here, and I'm just going to change this one and say itemize only, and then I'm going to come over here and uncheck these. So it's going to be the same package, but I'm just going to click itemize only. Go over to the general tab and change the description that prints on the bill so we can see it as well. And save that. And then I'm going to do one. We'll copy this one again, and I'm going to call it group and itemize. Okay, and then over here on the products, I'm just going to click group and itemize on all of them so that you'll be able to see. We'll save that. So now I have a group only, an itemize only, and a group and itemize. I also have that one here where it was mixed. Some items were checked to group and some were not. The regulatory fee was not. So that's how you set up packages. You add the products, you add any restrictions, and then you can also copy and deactivate from here as well. You can filter if you needed to find your packages if you have a lot of them. You can also keyword search. Now, I had a couple others that I set up earlier, and I'm just going to show you what they look like on the bill. So if you add a package when you're creating your service and you choose a package, this is one I had done earlier. It's a different package, but set up the same way. If I scroll down, so the first one I called test package group only. So as you can imagine, I just checked the group box on these. So it shows the package name, the total amount with a quantity of 1. Remember, you can't change the quantity on packages. You can only change the underlying quantities inside the package. So it gives me my package name and the total amount when it adds all those items up. The second one, I did test package group and itemize, and if you'll notice underneath it, this package only had 3 products in it, but if you notice, it indents and then it lists out the products that were checked to itemize. It lists those out. There's no pricing tied to those things. It's just a list of what's in the package for reference. Again, it still shows the total rate, quantity of 1. And then this last one, you can't even see the test package itemize only. That was the package name that I created, but just checking itemize and not grouping anything makes the package name not show, and these products simply appear as if they were a la carte products. There's nothing that would tell the customer that this is in a group. You see the pricing separately and you don't see the package name anywhere. I have another example of that one that we looked at where we did not group the one regulatory fee. So here's the integrated PRI. Now when I created this one, it prorated. So it started May 1st and went through June 14th. So it did May's prorated charges and then the full May 15th bill run. So I've got 2 charges on here, but this is the full month here. So it shows the package name, and then the one that was ungrouped just shows separately. So this rolls up the regulatory fee from the full month plus the partial month, but it shows that regulatory fee separately. It doesn't group it within the package. So those are the options that you have in Rev.io when using packages. You can configure them however you would like. You can create them and test them on a bill and make sure that they display the way you want them to display. But again, those group and itemize buttons are how you're going to get it to display the way you want it to display. So that's packages in Rev.io. Thanks for watching.